The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode.
Happy 4K Blues Day, everyone. Brought to you by Why So Blue on a Sunday. I'll talk about that later. But I got a good stack here for you to showcase this week. I got a bit of a load. It's pretty cool. But let's start out with the highlighted item that I promised here from the top. The Godfather Trilogy on 4K Ultra HD from Paramount. This is epic. So like every time there's a new format, it's like when Star Wars coming, when's the Godfather coming? Like, you gotta know when the Godfather's coming. It's got this little card, which, folks, I will trash. I'm not keeping this thing. So the back of it looks like that. It's got the little rose background. So when this first got announced, I thought it was gonna look kind of like a cheapie, like the original Blu-ray set did. If you can see, it came with a book and stuff, but it's a rather slim case or whatever. This, you'll see, is much bigger, much more thick, and definitely there is somebody at Paramount in the home video department who cares a lot more about this stuff nowadays, so it is cool. So you get all the movies in there, you slide in. So we'll start with, of course, the original Godfather, which I saw in the theater recently with this restoration. Looks, of course, marvelous. Includes a quote on the back here. The disc art, rather boring, but inside there's some more interesting stuff. Here we are. It's nice collages. Familia. Looks beautiful. Of course, this is one of my favorite movies ever made. Top 5, sure. But it's a glorious looking film. Then you go on to The Godfather Part 2. Another famous quote on the back here. Boring disc art, you can imagine. And then a bluish collage on the back from one of the greatest sequels ever made. I have popped this one in. Holy crap, what a movie. It's everything. These movies are so great. Like, this plays, of course, it's a sequel and a prequel, but in terms of production wise, it does a lot. It's a lot different, but also hits some of the same points the first one did. Like, hey, you liked that before, here's this again a little bit. Pretty interesting, but this movie is amazing. And then we come to the one I've defended for many years as being the unfortunate film of being very good next to two masterpieces. Godfather Part 3, so there's a statement here by Coppola with this. This is the Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, which came out last year. If you remember, it was a big deal back in December. But was it December of 2020? December 2020. So he's put this as the definitive cut in the set for it. That for the film. So his recut edition is what he considers the definitive Godfather 3. He always hated Part 3. But if we go here, we have another thing. Bonus discs. No quote on those. So unlike his buddy George Lucas, he says, okay. Maybe you don't consider that. Maybe you want the other ones. But you get the theatrical and 1991 cuts of The Godfather Part 3. So he is like, fine. And you get the bonus disc. So here's he has himself up in here. Yeah, Coppola right there. But this is one of cinema's finest achievements in just film, individual films, filmmaking, and as a saga. But this set is one that should be in every collector's home easily. They put in the time, they put in the effort. It's a beautiful set. I'm still working my way through it a bit, but I'm very familiar with a lot of this. So the Godfather Trilogy is a must-have this year. I was sent this version, the regular standard edition of it. There is a fancy with lithographs and a book type set that is also available. So if you're a huge Godfather fan, pick up that one. If not, this is better than I thought it was going to be another cheap run like this. Nope. Pretty awesome. Bulkier. Sweet. So there's your Godfather Trilogy unboxing. Next up I have from 20th Century Studios, aka Disney, Nightmare Alley, 4K Ultra HD. My review is up at whysoblu.com. This is one of my favorite films, made my top 10 of 2021, and it's another helping the case for these 20th Century Studio films having good Atmos tracks compared to the Disney ones. So this one, West Side Story, and The Kingsman all have really good Atmos tracks, which is exceptions towards the Disney stuff. So some, obviously, the home video departments are somewhat separate or something with the mixing for these discs, but this is a awesome movie, definite pickup. Guillermo del Toro doing a straight up noir movie, a remake, which the original is very good. Pick up the Criterion. They can both exist together, because this one, you see the first original and then you see this one, and this one like does an enhancement story on it. It's really good stuff. I appreciate both, so definitely pick it up. Speaking of noir, going to Kino, they got Touch of Evil, the Orson Welles film, with all 3 cuts in here. This is a banger of a classic. I popped it in already. Looks great. I love how black and white films look in 4K Ultra HD. There's a whole new level of quality here. This is a 3-disc set here. So you have the reconstructed version, the theatrical version of the film, and the preview version. There's multiple cuts. The one you want is the reconstructed version, but they're all here for everybody because this film was liked before the reconstructed version. It just found a new appreciation from those who didn't before with the reconstructed version. We have extras on here as well. There is a Criterion, or no, there's never a Criterion. Sorry. There's the original Touch of Evil from Warner Brothers that was out before. It's got those bonus features. This one had all 3 cuts as well, but definitely check it out. Touch of Evil, this is one of those, pick them up as they come. Classics. Also, a classic of sorts, coming out from Shout Factory here under, is it a Scream Factory label, is The Sword and the Sorcerer. It's the one that put Albert Pune on the map here. I popped this one up. My review is up on whysoblu.com. Has reversible cover art. This one has a load of interviews and stuff here. The movie is goofy fantasy fun, delivers all those sorts of goods. Interesting story. I think this one, Conan and Beastmaster, show a range of different kinds of qualities, different ways they're going, and different pivotal films that the rest of the 80s fantasy schlock, sword and sandal, sword and sorcery genres would crib from, because this was a hit movie. This was just as big a hit as Conan, and actually it lasted in the box office longer than Conan. It came out before Conan, and Conan came out during this one's run, hit in the box office top 10, and was out of the box office top 10, but Sword and the Sorcerer were still kicking in the top 10. And this one left like no cultural footprint whatsoever, aside from being a cult movie now. But it's crazy to think this one did double the business of Beastmaster and hung out there with Conan the Barbarian. It made just like a couple 100,000 less than Conan the Barbarian, but it had staying power. It had better legs than Conan the Barbarian. So this movie was something people were continuing to go see in the theater over Conan. Conan had a bigger debut, which helped it, but fell off much faster. Sword and the Sorcerer, trust me, go look at the box office stats for that. Interesting factoid. Another one from Shout Factory's Scream Factory label is On the Third Day. This independent film. Have not had a chance to take a look at it. But here you are. It's probably one of those IFC Midnight titles, maybe. I'm not sure, but something new in the horror world to check out. The independent thing. It is not IFC Studios. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. All right, next up I have from the people at Synapse Films, and my review is now posted this weekend on whysoblu.com. Thriller, Cruel Picture. This one, obviously, people know it inspiring a lot of Tarantino and, of course, Kill Bill. here's the disc, which it also has reversible cover art. Not much in the way of extras here, and this is basically a repurposed disc of Synapse Films' 2-disc DVD set from many moons ago. Let me get this reverse art in here. Oh, well, here you go. This is a weird situation here because this summer is a release of this movie coming from Vinegar Syndrome, but Vinegar Syndrome's doing a 4K Ultra HD, and it's got scanned from the original negatives. This has not been seen anywhere. This is a brand new scan. It's got extras with interviews, all sorts of loaded thing. They're coming out this summer. Synapse has put this one out. This one clearly, from what I can tell, they can correct me if I'm wrong, and I will listen to them and, you know, kowtow to what they did. But this looks like a upscale of their SD master that they had. It does look a lot better than their DVD, but it does have all those shortcomings and stuff. So a lot of people were like, what's even the point of this? I'll stand that I think this is definitely, like, the Synapse, or the Vinegar Syndrome one's going to be very expensive. And not all collectors care to have, like, super immaculate things. Sometimes they just want that film in their collection. And this one's going to be probably a solid budget release. Some people won't care about the extra stuff. They just want a decent looking version to have in their physical collection. And there you go. And then people that don't know might be at a convention and they have their booth. They sell their titles there. And this is an attractive looking thing to have. So if you have the rights to put it out somehow and you can make some money off your investment, why wouldn't you? So here you are. I'm considering this the budget release version of this movie, though it still has a pretty price tag to it. It's not going to be as expensive as the Vinegar Syndrome one, but there you are. At the end of the day, that's why this is out there. And before this, there was no sign of this coming to Blu-ray ever. Now there's 2 competing releases of it in the United States. Next up, I have The Wonderful World of the Brothers Grimm from Warner Archive Collection. This is a big deal. They have a little booklet that comes with this one. Pretty cool. Teeny little thing. I'm not familiar with this movie, or though I may have seen it as like a kid or something. But this is a really groovy freaking old school fairy tale movie with a lot of practical effects, costuming, stuff like that. It comes in 2 presentations. One's the letterbox, version, and then the other's the smile box version, which is the letterbox that goes like this because it was a Cinerama movie that wrapped around. So it's the full picture, I guess, and they're giving it to you, and the restoration on this is fucking stellar. So please pick this one up. That's a cool one. Also, one of the many iterations of A Star is Born. This one was available on Kino. Warner Archive now putting it out themselves. I don't believe there's any new bonus features. It's just the typical ones they've had before, but that's cool. And they're all out now through Warner Brothers. Every version of A Star is Born, 3 of them through Warner Archive. And then, of course, the Bradley Cooper one, 4K Ultra HD, regular release. And lastly, from Warner Archive this month, I got all their ones from this month. It was a good month. It's another Michael Curtiz film. Like, I mean, as you know, I picked these up. James Cagney, Captains of the Clouds. This is him and Cagney working together. Okay. And there's the disc. If I show the Star is Born disc, here's the Star is Born disc. Oh, look, it's the same. All right. That's it. And our last release is one of the Corey's movies from the 80s, Dream a Little Dream, coming from Best From Video. Haven't had a chance to pop this in yet. I have screen capped it. It looks like your typical restoration from the Best From Video series. Lots of, they got a new Corey Feldman interview here. Unfortunately, there is no interview with Meredith Salinger. That'd have been cool, but hey, got plenty of stuff here to look at with Dream a Little Dream, one of the Corey movies that have never been released before on here. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for checking out this video. This will be my only bit of content this week. Unfortunately, as I had, if you pay attention to my social media stuff, good friend and frequent guest of the show, Jim Dietz, passed away this week. So I am going radio silent with the program for the week in his honor. and we miss him here. I don't know what's going to happen with his last episode of Old Space Show, but stay tuned. There is a GoFundMe for Jim where you can donate. It's already crushing its goal, but if you love Jim and want to help out his family, it's there for you to do that. Very, very, very sad. He meant a lot to so many people, and being someone who didn't meet him in person, I only did podcasting with him for over the last 8 years. It's pretty crushing, and reading a lot about how he made people better people in the world of fandom, nerds, and all that stuff is just amazing. That he really did touch a lot of lives, and he was a great family man, and it's a giant hole gone from this universe, but I hope he is somewhere at peace, looking at us from the cosmos and enjoying what's going on. Always supportive of everyone, so we'll miss him. The show will be silent this week. The next Old Space Show is already in the can. It's Trial of a Time Lord with Rachel Bren coming back. And the following one, by request, will be Planet of the Apes, the television series, with good friend and Big Finish producer Russell McGee will be hopping on board. But thank you for checking in. I hate ending things on a sad note, but that's where things are with the show at this time. And definitely tell me what you like from these releases. I'll be in the chats. Follow me on social media at Brandon4KUHD on Twitter and at Brandon4KUHD on Instagram. I'll still be posting and stuff this week, but as far as podcast programming goes, this week will be radio silence. So again, thank you for checking in, and as always, stay film positive.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.